Call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action on claims in the amount of $697,796.40.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action on approving regular operator's license applications for Jacob Till, Megan Mullaney, Jonathan Kazubaski, Jolyn Tan, Ling Chen, Joe Flynn, Brittany Schultz, Ruth Peterson, Alan Ballard, Kantabahan Patel, Matthew Horning, Keith Minich, Jessica Braun, and Dao Lu.
For the period of May 4th, 2020 through June 30th, 2022, contingent upon successful completion of a background check and payment of any outstanding debt owed to the city.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion of possible action on approving fireworks permit application for Walmart 2222 Crestview Drive, Target 2401 Cooley Drive, Fleet Farm 1001 Industrial Street, and Menards 1400 Gateway Boulevard.
For the period of June 15th through July 7th, 2020, they've been approved by the police and fire department, looks like.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Are the stores themselves taking out the permit, or is this an independent contractor who's taking out a permit for all 4 stores?
I
believe
guess
each store was in the past.
What's that?
Each store as it was done in the past.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action to waive late tax payment penalties and interest. Anybody?
Nobody wants to tackle that one, huh?
So this one, I can, if nothing else, is jump in on. I mean, I kind of laid out in there what, where this came from, with the state updating their legislation related to coronavirus and how to address it and things like that. This was one of the areas that they did. The county actually sent out an email to the clerks, or was it? Or actually to finance staff.
This morning.
This morning, Alton. So
Yep.
This morning, basically, they just kind of laid out that they want to hear from the municipalities what we want to do, and then they're going to make a decision on it once they kind of hear from everyone. But it's sort of an all or nothing deal. So it's not just, we want to do it, but North Hudson doesn't, whatever. The county has to adopt a resolution for everyone. So they're going to wait to hear from everybody on that and then kind of see what they want to do. I mean, basically for us, I don't know. We just don't know how much of an impact it will really have. But the big picture is, I think in looking at it, if someone is struggling right now and they can't pay their property taxes, I don't also then want to later, when they can pay it, tack on some penalties and fees that probably doesn't make sense right now. It's not needed. We don't need it. If the assumption is at some point the property tax will get paid and we will get our funds. It may be later than we're used to, but I don't think that as a city we need to get additional penalties and fees on top of that when things are pretty hard on people right now. So
This is a delay. I mean, right now it's talking about moving it to October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a complete waive, but it would mean that if they don't make it by July 31st, as long as they pay it by October 1st, they're not going to tack penalty and fees on in between.
Have residents called, Allison?
I haven't heard from anybody. But the county does our collections, and that's who's on their bill to call.
Right.
So the county may have heard from somebody. Chrissy really hasn't heard anything about utility bills either. So at this point,
I'll move we waive them, the late tax payment penalties and interest.
I'll second.
Motion and second, discussion.
I do have one question. So as a taxpayer, would they have to submit like a hardship request, or is this just
it
overall?
doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's an overall thing from what I've read.
So what'll have to happen is when the county adopts their resolution to do this, they will lay out what qualifies like as a hardship and things like that. And so it'll be up to the county to kind of decide how they're going to process this. So the county could decide that they're going to make you try to submit something with it. We just don't know for sure, and we won't have any control over that. It'll basically be all up to them.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion of possible action to reassign the dive team operations from Hudson Police Department to the Hudson Fire Department.
We discussed this in public safety, and we agreed with Chief Willems and St. Martin as to that we should make this change. It's sensible. It's reasonable. So I would move that we do so.
Second.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion of possible action on approving the proposal from SEH for build grant application assistance for Carmichael Road full build north of Interstate 94.
All right. Good evening, council members and mayor. So this item is for assistance in preparing a build grant. Build grant being, I don't know what build stands for, it's an acronym, but it's a federal grant for infrastructure improvements for corridors that are significant for economic development, have safety issues, and are somewhat, large cost projects to do. So we felt we got this information from Wisconsin DOT. They had sent it to us back in April sometime, and we looked at the information and we thought, hey, this is worth pursuing, especially since this project's going to be quite significant when it does happen. So we figured it would be worth the effort to put together the best possible grant application we can. So in order to do that, we felt we needed assistance from SEH to do so, to get it done in the time frame that it needs to be done and to have our best shot at success. The grant match is 80-20, 80 federal funds, 20 match funds from us. So we feel that, that would be very helpful to have moving forward. So staff, including myself, are putting together the majority of the application, and SEH is going to, if approved, help out with some of the more nuanced stuff that we don't have expertise on as staff, or we don't feel as comfortable putting together the best possible application. So that's what the SEH assistance is for. I should also mention too that we're looking at putting together 2 grant applications, one for the actual construction and right of way, and then the second one for the design of the corridor. There's a special pot of money in there for pre-construction activities. So we feel that even if we didn't get the construction one, if we were able to get the design one to, get a plan set together, have it on the shelf for the next time that there's some funds available, we felt that was beneficial as well. So that would be task 2 on the issue sheet. So any questions?
Dean, hi, this is Bill. I'm wondering, with this grant application, does that set the stage for a kind of a boilerplate grant application? Should there be other grants that come about?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. That's exactly what we would hope to get from this assistance, is a lot of the information that we would use if we were unsuccessful with this one could be used to be hopefully set up for the next time there's a grant application. So in a lot of grant applications, there's things like safety that you have to have an analysis for, or economic development, or traffic capacity, or all that kind of stuff. So we feel that if we get all that hammered out with this one, we can replicate that as much as possible for future opportunities.
Thanks, Dean.
Anybody else? We have a motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second to approve. Further discussion?
And just to clarify, this is coming from undesignated CIP funds?
Correct.
Correct.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action on approving the State Trunk Highway 35 project with reimbursement resolution.
So this item we'll be talking more about at council, but the tonight's discussion also involves approval of state municipal agreements, and so I believe that is why that's on council or on the finance committee tonight, is in regards to those agreements, if I recall correctly.
For the reimbursement agreements, yes.
Basically, all we're really talking about with finance is the reimbursement resolution, which is just the fact that we intend to expend city funds now, but we will reimburse those funds from the bonding that we do when the project begins next year.
I'll move we forward recommendation of approval.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. I don't have anything for future agendas. Anybody else?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned.